Hi, this is another video for an EC135 500 scale by Flish RC. As I spoke earlier, I got this fuselage mechanics, blades, landing gear, radio, all as a package from Flish RC. This is an outfit that integrates helicopters, especially scale helicopters. I've built, I did previous videos on the 450, two of them. You see over there, that's the 450 EC135, and that's the AS350 450 scale as well. And here's the 500. So on this 500, I've done so far, what I do is I add LEDs. I've added a LED here. That's the front beacon. And then I have a strobe here, a strobe here. And then I have added lights here on the, these are nav lights on the right and on the left. And the way I've done that is I showed it on my previous video on the 450 build, but here I just went ahead and did it. You have to fish these in. So basically, you know, this is not epoxied yet, but I went ahead and made a hole on this side, and before screwing this on this side of this, and connected it up. This will be epoxying it. Then I also drilled a hole here and fished the wires through, all the way through to the inside. And here's a view of what it looks like inside. I have hot glued the wires so that they don't come apart and go in the gears. So that's that. So next I'm gonna add the landing gear, which is, the skid, which is here. It's a simple part that just goes on and screws on. And then after that, I'm going to add windows. I will tint it, and we'll be good to go there. That's this fuse. As far as the mechanics are concerned, I changed the connectors because of most of my batteries, since I fly a lot of EDFs, I have the XT150 connectors. So I went ahead and changed it. I added another BEC here. This is a Hobby Wing 10 amp and 20 amp max BEC. It could be an overkill, but that's okay. I don't mind that. I'd rather have more than less. So what I did was I tapped it off of the main power supply to the ESC. This UBEC is providing power to the receiver at 5 amps. The H1 controller, which is this controller that this comes with, requires approximately 7.4 volts. So my LEDs could not operate at 7.4 volts. So I kept the power supply to the H1 at 7.4 volts and separated the power supply to my receiver to 5 volts. And that's where the power supply comes in, right here. I just routed the wire from the back, if you can see, just comes out and goes in here. Also, I assigned a switch for the LEDs on the radio that comes with it. This is the radio. It's a FlySky radio. So the first thing I did is I went in the setup menu and I went ahead and changed the screen lock when it ships, it's at 5 seconds. So you really don't have any time to do anything. So I changed it to 30 seconds. That's the first change I did. Second change I did, I left all the programming the same because I don't want to mess it up. This was already test flown by Flish RC. So we're going to keep everything as is for the maiden. But for the timer, I like to set the timers. And the way you do that, you go in here. So you go to the timer 1, and you have to go to assign. So you have to assign a switch to enable and reset. So since the stop start button is up here, that's switch A, I set the reset and enable for switch A. And whether you want the timing to go up to count up or count down, you can choose. I've selected reset to up and enable to count down. Okay, and I've also set the second timer for to just the same switch, so it just enables, it doesn't reset, it keeps going on throughout until you turn off the radio. So that just tells you how much time you've had total. So as an example, so if I switch it on, run, you see that it's counting, and if I stop, the T1 is reset to 8 and T2 is still 5 seconds. Continues on and off. Now for the LEDs, I went ahead and you have to go into the system, in function, and look for the aux channels, auxiliary channels. Don't touch any other channels. Channel 6, I changed to switch D, which is where I put my wires for my LED, module is in channel 6. Here, you can see channel 6 will be down there. I'm going to bring that, once I connect it, it'll be here. Channel 6. So I switched that to switch D, and that's this switch up here. So that was that. I'm turning this off. Let me tell you a little bit about the mechanics. It comes just like this. Everything's installed. I mean, I just checked to make sure there's Loctite on all these components, making sure that nothing's loose, nothing's bent, nothing's damaged during shipment. And that's the beauty of the Flish RC helicopters. Here's the 60 amp ESC from Hobby Wing. Here's a smaller, I think 20 amp ESC for the tail motor. And very nice metal geared servos. Very nicely designed and CNC machined head by Tarot. Looks nice. Can't wait till I made in this. And a very nice chunky motor. I think it's should be a 1600 kV. I don't know what kV it is, but it should be about 1600. It comes with a sort of a manual, but it's just really not. It's a step-by-step function on how to start the helicopter. More about the transmitter itself for mode 1 and mode 2. Mode 2 is where I fly. Let's see, what else? That's it. Really not much information other than that. So you should, if you need more, you can always ask and they will provide. Of course, there's some decals I'm going to be putting on this helicopter. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get the windows done, tint it, and come back. And then obviously we'll epoxy coat the tail, this tail. Okay, so I've prepared the fuselage. I went ahead and installed the LEDs, just like I did on the 450. I went ahead and hot glued the wires so that they're not moving around. And here's the module. And the module is going to basically connect into the receiver. And this is the tail motor connection. So I went ahead and put, here's the nav lights, 1, 2, 3, and then the strobes, 1 on the bottom, 1 on the top, and the beacon up front. I put the landing gear on, as you can see, and when I put that on, make sure you put it on a flat surface to make sure that it's even and it sits flat on the ground. And once that's the case, then you can go ahead and install the fins, making sure it's at 90 degrees. Okay, it's important that it's at 90 degrees, otherwise it'll look funky. Okay, now I'm ready to install the mechanics. This is pretty simple, but before I go there, I also installed the windows that I told you about and tinted them. Okay, not a very difficult process. If you saw my other video on the 450, that one, I have these plastic sheets that I buy off Amazon. They come with protective cover. You take one side off, you tint it, and then I hot glued it here. Normally I use rubber cement, but hot glue was quicker and it's more, I think it worked out better. It's more solid. So here are the mechanics. I talked about the changes I made on this. I tapped the BEC that I put on here to control the receiver at 5 volts off of the power supply, the 6S power supply, to the main motor ESC. The main motor ESC is also providing regulating power to the H1 controller, but it's at 7.4 volts. And just to recap, my lighting module can't take 7.4 volts. So I removed the red wire to the receiver from the H1 module. I removed it because this is an S-bus connection, because I don't want this to be confused. 7.4 volts, 5 volts. So this remains at 5 volts. The LEDs are will be connected in here by this in channel 6. So let's go ahead and put it in now. And it's going in channel 6 is in the bottom. So that means that's going to go. Signal wires on top. Put it in there. I knew it's going to be difficult, but hang in there. Okay. I went to channel 6. Make sure it's connected. Okay. So this fuse mechanics basic, just slide into that groove. See that just slides in. Very nice fit. And we have these bolts. These are for the front. This is for the back. They seem to be 2 millimeter hex. So these are the back ones. Let's put it in. Just goes right in the back like that. I hope this is looking good. All right. Let's make sure there's, oh, we forgot to put the, hold on a second. We forgot to connect the motor. And here's the motor connection. Just two connections, right? I'm gonna connect this. You can't go wrong. You know, the grooves are already set. You go in, make sure it's nice and tight, and then you push it in. Okay, very nice. Let's tighten that up. Put the other side in too, and then we'll tighten them together. Oops. Need a long 2 millimeter hex for this. Anyways, I'll put these two in, and then I'll put the front ones in too. That goes one here and one here. Okay, installed. Like I said, I put the bolts in the front, the short ones in the front, and the long ones go back there, way back there, into the, maybe you can see it here, right there. Okay, now I'm gonna check the electronics and see how it binds with the provided transmitter, and just check things out. Okay, I'm connecting it first time. Okay. It's off, so let's try to, if I put it on 3D, I don't want it to, okay, it's in 3D now. Okay, right, left, forward, backwards, forward, backwards. Okay, let's check the, I don't want it to, I didn't take the tail blade off, so I don't want it to work on its own. Right, aileron, left, forward, backwards. Okay, so let's turn it off again and put it in 3D. Okay, still not engaged. Let's see what's going on here. Pitch up, pitch down, that all works. Okay. Let's Do it again. All the buttons are up. Okay, put it in 3D and then connect. See what happens there. Okay. Right, left, forward, backwards. This one's interesting. It's different than the 450. Okay, I'll check that in the field before I fly. I gotta check the gyro directions. Not inside. I'm afraid of the 500 to do this inside. Okay. I don't know if, okay, let's talk about the radio and the changes I made. First things I do was, I think I talked about this earlier, but I go in this and change, when you get this, I like to change the lock screen time, because when it comes, it's set at 5 seconds and it's impossible. So I change that to 30 seconds. Okay, you go into system system menu, and then you go to the screen lock and make that change, and then you go back. The other thing is for the timer. I fly this, I'm going to plan to fly for about 8 minutes to start, and the way to do that is you can go in the first timer and you go assign. You assign switch A to up, switch, and it enables with switch A, and the countdown is going down. And then switch A up, it resets. I set up a second timer here where it's the total time that the helicopter's been running. So that one also, you go to assign. I just put switch A and down, and that's it, enable, and it doesn't stop or reset. The other thing I did here was I put my switch for the LEDs in, you got to go into the function and aux channels, and I put it on channel 6, and I assigned it to switch D, this switch. So let's see if that works. The switch. LEDs were working. LEDs are all working. Let it. Okay. LEDs are working. The tail. Okay. Switch it off. It has 9 modes. This is on constantly. That's off. This is the one I'm going to keep it on. Okay. Next, I'm going to put the blades on, and these blades are balanced. Yellow, both yellows go in one direction and the red on another. Okay, I found out what I was doing wrong. I wasn't setting the helicopter for it to start. So let's do that. Let's check the cyclics again. All switches up. Turn this on. Okay. We'll put it on 3D. Connect up. It goes in starts its checks. H1 does its checks here. Okay, now if I initiate the start, hold it for 3 seconds, let go, that blue light flashes, and then you could hit start, or yeah, hit start. Okay, now I stopped it. So right aileron, left, right, left, forward, backwards, Now, right there, left there. Initiate again. Okay, it's initiated. Start. You can see that. You can see it work. So I'm happy with it. It's doing what it's supposed to do. So next I'm going to go ahead and put the decals on, and then we're going to go and maiden this guy. What a beautiful helicopter. I think it's gorgeous. I never had a yellow one like this, and I like the fact that I tinted this. It's going to look really cool. Finished product. Beautiful. Okay, so unfortunately I did my maiden, but I forgot to turn on the camera. I mean, I did turn it on, but I actually turned it off. Sorry about that, but I'm gonna redo it so I show it to everybody. I had to reduce the time to 6 minutes on this 500 from 8 minutes on the 450. This one took a lot more juice. So I'm flying it on 5000 pulse, 35C. So I'm gonna turn this on. All the buttons have to be up, and we're gonna arm it, and it's gonna look for its GPS. We're gonna have to, hopefully it's gonna be quicker than the maiden. Right now it's red, as you can see in there, flashing. Now it's gonna check. The H1 is checking the mechanics. There you go. And now it's looking for, I'm gonna put it on GPS. Now it's searching for its satellite. It should be quicker on this go. First time it took about a minute. All right. Just wait for a second. Hopefully I'm videoing this one. It'd be terrible if I miss this one again. Nope, it's going well. All right, see, it got the green light. Maybe you can't see it, but trust me, there's a green light on the H1. Put this back on. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and hold this 1000 to 1003. Okay, now run. Hopefully this is close enough. Beautiful control here. Try the other one. All right, so now we're gonna take her up and do a circle fly. Go up to safe level, hold, press circle. And there she goes. I'm not touching it at all. That tail sounds pretty good. Sounds like an EDF or a jet, like turbine. Now you can't hear it because of the nitro behind me, but all right, so now we're gonna go figure 8 and go into figure 8. Okay, we did the figure 8, and let's go back to normal. It's gonna just stay there, and let's go home. We're gonna press home. I think it wants to just stay there. Same with my 450. I'm not sure why it just stays there, but it's pinpointing where it wants to come down. But we'll give it a minute. If it doesn't, I'll just initiate it to come down. Meanwhile, there's some 3D going on over there. But we're here doing scale stuff. All right, let's initiate. There you go. I need to find out why I need to initiate. Very slow. Here we have 1 minute left, so this might be the flight that we just land. So I went to 6 minutes on this flight. Beautiful. Okay, we got the satellite already. We're gonna just, it's on GPS mode, and we're gonna take off. 1000 to 1004. Run. Not much talking here. I'm just gonna fly it. A little bit of vibration I'm seeing in the head. But it's tracking perfect. Keep spinning, no resistance on this head. Pretty good. So what I noticed is some vibration here, and this thing opens up. I need to check to make sure there's no contact here. But overall, it's flying really nice. Beautiful helicopter. And like that, the 450 flies smoother, I gotta tell you. But this has mass. Way up there.